I'm a senior sysadmin. When my boss forced me to work all weekend, I checked his VPN. The blue light of the monitor was burning a hole in my retinas. It was Sunday, January 25th, 10 a.m. Outside my window, the sky was a bruised shade of gray, spitting sleet against the glass that sounded like handfuls of gravel being thrown by an angry toddler. Inside my apartment, the air was stale, smelling of cold coffee and the distinct, metallic scent of overheating electronics. I shouldn't have been here. I shouldn't have been sitting in this ergonomic torture device of a chair, staring at a command line terminal that was scrolling text faster than I could read it. I should have been 3 hours south, at my sister's engagement party. I should have been holding a glass of champagne, making fun of my future brother-in-law's terrible taste in ties. I had asked for this weekend off 3 months ago. 3 months. But I wasn't there. I was here. Because of David. I stopped typing and looked at the email still open on my secondary monitor. I had received it on Friday at 4:45 p.m. The cowardly timestamp of a man who likes to drop bombs and run for the elevator. Subject: time off request, Jan 24/25. From David, Director of Ops. Marcus, I know you planned this, but I'm going to have to rescind the approval. We are in crunch time for the Q1 migration. The investors are breathing down my neck, and we need all hands on deck. This is a wartime scenario, buddy. We need to be grinding. I'll be working all weekend to ensure the transition is smooth, so I expect you to be logged in and responsive too. We are a team. We sacrifice together. Declined. We sacrifice together. I read that line again, and I felt the heat rising in my neck, a thick, suffocating wave of rage that made my vision go blurry at the edges. My hands were shaking, not from caffeine, but from the sheer, unadulterated desire to throw my monitor through the window. David didn't know how to migrate a server. David didn't know the difference between Java and JavaScript. David was a ideas guy who spent his days wandering the office with a ceramic mug that said hustle, asking us if we had circled back on things that didn't matter. But he was the boss, and he had held my bonus over my head like a carrot on a stick for 6 months. If I walked out, I lost 10 grand. So, I stayed. I called my sister. She cried. I told her I was sick. I lied to my family because my boss told me we were at war. I took a sip of the cold sludge in my mug and typed top into the terminal. The server load was fine. Of course it was fine. I had automated the migration scripts 2 weeks ago. There was absolutely no reason for me to be staring at this screen other than David's need for control. He wanted to see the little green dot next to my name on Microsoft Teams. He wanted to own my time. I sighed, rubbing my temples. Alright, David, I whispered to the empty room. Let's see how hard you're grinding. As the senior sysadmin, I have visibility on everything. Every packet of data, every login, every connection that touches our network passes through my dashboard. It's not something I abuse. I value privacy. But when you tell me we are in the trenches together, I expect to see you holding a shovel. I opened the VPN connection logs. I wanted to see when David had logged in. I wanted to see him suffering too. I wanted to see him replying to emails at 7 a.m. on a Sunday, miserable and caffeinated, just like me. It would have been a small, petty comfort. I ran a query for his username, D_Henderson. User, D_Henderson. Status, active. Connection time, 9:15 a.m. Duration, 45 minutes. He was online. Okay, I muttered, leaning back. Fair play. The guy is actually working. For a second, the rage subsided. Maybe I had misjudged him. Maybe the investors really were pressuring him. If he was online on a Sunday morning, maybe he really was stressed out. Then I looked at the latency column. Ping, 145 milliseconds. That was high. David lived in the suburbs, 10 miles from the office. On a fiber connection. His ping should be 15 milliseconds. Max 145 milliseconds meant he was either routing through a potato, or he wasn't where he said he was. What I'm about to do next involves a level of access that would get me fired in a normal company, but this wasn't a normal company, and this wasn't a normal Sunday. David thinks he's slick. He thinks he can hide behind a VPN tunnel and pretend he's suffering in solidarity while ordering room service. But he forgot that a VPN tunnel is a two-way street. He's sending data to me, but I can see exactly what kind of data it is. And when I look at the traffic analysis in about 30 seconds, the betrayal is going to go from annoying to burn it all down. To watch full video, kindly click here.